Hello, Nicole here. Today I want to show you how to set up a transaction in Transaction Desk using the templates that Jimmy has made for the agents and the checklist. So we're going to go to our MLS dashboard and we're going to look for our Transaction Desk icon. And when Transaction Desk opens, it opens up to the Agent dashboard. You can either go through your widget to create a transaction, open a transaction, of course, if we were going to a transaction that was already opened. I like to hit on the house and go to the, from the left column menu, I like to hit on the house there and go to Transactions. And from here, I hit Add. And it's important to think about how you name your transactions and your files on your computer to keep yourself organized. It makes things easy to find and it saves you time. So this is going to be a listing, and I always start with listing or sale in caps to flag it out to me, my client's name, and the address. Then the next thing that you want to select is your template. Because this is a listing, I am going to select the listing template. Now if I was really inputting this as a listing, I would hit Realist, GLVAR, I would hit Clark County, and I would put in the tax ID number. This might even be the right tax ID number. Let's try it. And I don't want to add myself at all because it never seems to come in correctly in the transaction. And I'm not going to use the wizard. You can do whatever you would like there though. If you want to add yourself, go ahead. If you want to use the wizard, go ahead. What I found is if I don't use the wizard, it will still ask me details about the transaction. Now I just hit create and we are waiting for the computer to create the transaction. And let's see if I had the right. It looks like I did. Look at it, brought it in, 4908 Peaceful Pond Avenue. It is in Lynbrook. And so I had the right parcel number saved for my other examples that I've done. So we have the name of our listing, we have the details here, and I'm going to go down and fill in a little more detail information. I am going to put a price, and I am going to, let's see, what else do we have here? Let's put a list date. Let's put, it'll start Saturday. Okay, and then expiration, I am going to make it 10/25/2023. Okay, and I think that's all we need right now. Okay, and then once I have added details and I want to make sure everything is saved, I can hit this check mark right here to save things. Okay. Now, once I have filled in whatever details I want to fill in, which it's much shorter this way than it is to do the wizard, but do whatever you like. There's no right or wrong. It's what works for you. I'm going to go to contacts now over here on the right. There's a difference. The contacts here is for the whole system. We want to add contacts to this transaction, so everything on the right column will keep me in my transaction or pertains to the transaction. Like signings will take me to signings for this transaction. This one would take me to all the signings that I have sitting in the system. So I want to work on my right side. I'm going to hit contacts. Now because I used the tax number, it did bring in the seller's names. Okay, and in this example I am going to be the seller as well as the agent. So now I am going to add my other contacts. I want to add my broker. Let's hit add. And when you have your broker in your left column here, or any agent or broker, whoever, it'll say general here. I'm going to change that now because now I'm adding him to a specific transaction and I want to make him the listing broker. Excuse me. I want to make sure the identifiers are in there, and they are not. So we are going to add that. Office ID, ECRS, Let's check the address, and that is the Tropicana address. We no longer have a fax there. I am going to take that out. At least that's what I'm told. And we are going to hit save. And now I want to add myself as an agent, because here I am added as a seller. So let's add myself as an agent. And again, it says, when we get this here, it says general. I am going to be the listing agent. Okay. And let's go to the identifiers. I don't know why it doesn't hold. It seems like I've put it in a million times, but okay, and the address is for the office. Perfect. Okay, so I have all the important parties to this listing. I have brought in the template. We had already done that. And what happens is the template automatically loads all of the forms and a checklist. So let's take a look at our forms first. And again, remember, I want to go to the forms on the right because that's going to keep me in the transaction. If I were to go to this one that is marked forms, it would take me to forms, all the forms. But I want to just be looking at forms for this transaction that are preloaded. So let's hit on forms, and this is all because we brought in the listing template. And here we can see we've got our duties owed, our supplemental list. If you don't work with any other agents, if it's just you on the deal, on the listing, then you can go ahead and delete what does not pertain to you. If you never do dual agency and you always have your seller or buyer sign that you may not work with the other side in a deal, in a transaction, you can go ahead and delete the consent to act. But they're here in case you need them. This sometimes title will want this if you have not filled in anywhere else, or you don't want to show them your listing agreement. This would let them know that your client is paying the $449 administrative fee. This is just optional. I included it though because I thought a lot of people use it. And sometimes title will ask for it. You have to have something that shows that your client has agreed to pay the admin fee. It is in the listing agreement. It does have a spot where you can put the percentage they're paying you and we always hit and $449 or whatever the admin fee is that you're charging. So it is in the listing agreement, but maybe you don't want to send over the whole listing agreement. Okay, we have, let's see, where is, oh, this is the wrong addendum. Oh my goodness, that should not be in there. It should be the addendum to a listing agreement. That was what the intention was there. Let's get rid of that. So the exclusive authorization, and I usually do put the addendum for the listing agreement. Let's see if we can find that real quick. And I like to put it in there because sometimes you don't know it's there. Look, we have, actually, we should put this one, the coming soon listing. Let's take that one. There's an addendum for short sales. There's several addendums available, but I think the one I want to have in your package for you is the coming soon listing addendum. So let's add that. And it went to the bottom here. I will fix that when, when I get this, when I redo the list and add that addendum for everybody. I'll get it in the right order for you. Wire and cyber fraud. This is going to be mandatory as of about a month ago on all of our files, listings or sellers. You want to have a wire and cyber fraud notification disclosure in your packet and submit it to RSA. Change orders. They are not on the required list, but they certainly are required if you use them. Whenever you have a price change or date change, you have to have your seller's signature. And I do think, let me see if this one requires the broker signature. Yes, it does. It requires the broker signature as well. So you want to make sure that you have these done also. Okay. I'm going to save that. And let's see what else we have in here. The change orders, the residential disclosure guide. All you need to put in RSA though is the last, the signature page. It's like the second to the last page. But here's the whole guide. Your seller's real property disclosure form. Lead paints are only if the property was built before 1978. And of course you would give them the pamphlet and then have them fill out the disclosure. That would be for sellers and buyers. Mold notice, they require that all sellers sign that. And let's see, construction defect disclosure and waiver. That would only really be if they signed that there was a construction defect on their SRPD. Solar information and authorization becoming much more common to use. That would be for your seller to fill out and give you authorization to talk to the solar company. The solar panel addendum. That's when you're actually in contract. I put it in the listing forms here just to remind you that there is a solar panel addendum. So if you get an offer, you probably want to attach that solar panel addendum if the home you've listed has solar panels. Smart home disclosure. This again is for the seller to sign. Let's take a look at that real quick. It's opening up here. Take it in sweet time. Come on. Okay, let's slide down and let's look at where the signatures are here. So whatever smart appliances or devices your seller has, they would be filled in this area. It would be initialed by both parties and signed by both parties. So your seller can fill this out ahead of time so that you can talk about the property and tell people what's in it. Some people have Alexa enabled outlets, and those run like $40 an outlet. Last time I looked, they could be higher now. And you want to, that's a really nice feature for somebody buying the home. So you really want to know what the smart devices are in the home. So you could have the seller fill this out at the time of the listing and then have it ready. And once a buyer comes along, you would present it to the buyer. Okay, let's get out of here. And let's look and see what else we have. So we ended up at the smart home disclosure. We have the CIC package request. And again, if this is a community that has no HOA, we can just click this and this, and we can go right up to the basket and delete those items. But it's much easier than having to bring in all these separate forms yourself. The template should make things a little easier for you. I've also included a multiple offer guideline in case we get into that situation again where we're having multiple offers. Let's see, multiple counter offer 1 and multiple counter offer 2. So just in case you need them, they're here. You never know. And sometimes you might not know that they're even available, and you might not have gone to look for them, especially if you're a newer agent. So tried to put a lot of things in here to help you, to help facilitate getting your signing and getting all your correct paperwork for your listing. Now, once that's all in, and let's say I have already had a few things signed, gotten them back, I can go over to the checklist. And the checklist pretty much follows what's on the required list. So if, let's say, I had done the duties owed, I'm going to mark that done. I had deleted the duties owed supplemental. I had deleted the consent to act because I don't use them. I got my listing agreement signed. I printed the ER from MLS, the exclusive right status to print and put in the file, the tax star. I've gotten all of my disclosures filled out. We didn't have the CIC. We had the SRPD filled out. Where did that go? Just a minute. Lost it. And see this bar here, it's letting you know how much you have finished for this listing and how much more you need to do. I am going to pretend like this and this were not applicable. So I can click those circles, and I guess I can go right up here to remove the item. And we didn't have solar, we're going to say. I'm going to make this easy. Oh, it's not working. I see what I did. I've got to delete it from here. There we go. Went to the 3 buttons and deleted it from there. Let's go up here again. I thought I was deleting them. Interesting. Okay, there we go. Now, Smart Home Disclosure still didn't delete. Try one more time. Delete. Okay, and we'll pretend like I did do the lead disclosure and the SRPD. I already have that checked. We didn't need the construction defect. And then these final things here, I would wait now because I just listed the home, so I don't have a change order yet. So I don't want to check this off. Upload only fully executed documents. I can check that because I've read it. Commission instructions must be initialed before sending to Jimmy for a signature. So I can leave that as a reminder to make sure I do my commission order. I don't think I have the commission order in the checklist. That's something Title will ask you for, but you can use this as your reminder to get that. So I need 2 more things before this is completely done. My listing is 82% complete, and that's how you use the checklist. And you can actually either use that checklist to check them off once you have gotten the forms signed or once you've put them into RSA, whichever way works for you better. It's your checklist. Okay, nobody else is checking it. This is for a tool for you to use. Now I am going to go back to my forms, and we are at the, actually we can go back to the dashboard. And do you see how that details, when we went and we created the listing, it asked me dates, and I put in the list date and the expiration date, and they show up here under important dates if you happen to use this widget. This widget is, let's see if I can find which widget it is. I do believe this is called the overview. It's the overview widget, and I kind of like that on my transactions because right away I can see any important dates just looking at the first page, you know, the dashboard for that transaction. Okay, we're going to lock this again, and I wanted to show you here too, if I click on go to details, I can open up those details and add more information if I need to. I can also access quite a bit from here, from the 3 dots. I could delete the transaction. I could share something. I can write notes. I can add a note right here. Let's see. Don't forget to ask the seller about any smart features. And let's see, we're going to hit save. And now if I go back to the dashboard, there's the note. So, and it dates the note and it times it. So this is nice. This is a nice little tool. And I do believe you can even, it looks like you can add a note right from here as well. So if I was really busy, I didn't have time to go into the transaction, but I wanted to remind myself of something, I could write a note right there. Or maybe I just want to remind myself, don't call these people after 3 in the afternoon. You know, they have an odd schedule or something. Just anything I need to know. It's nice to have a little spot right here where I can put that information so I don't get confused with my clients. And I can see everything that I have done right in this checklist item status. So basically, I guess I'm just trying to point out that that template can make things easier for you, and so can the checklist, and so can your widgets on your dashboard. Okay, have a great day. Thank you.